don't get this. Don't lay this on my patriarchy, okay? Y'all like this. You guys like this. And welcome to another episode of the very hot Asian Non-Asian podcast.
So hot and sweaty in here.
One of your hosts, Mike Nguyen.
I'm Jenny Arimoto.
And we're coming at you. New York City, baby. Chinatown.
Summer. Imagine it. Summer 2023.
Imagine it. Summer 1987.
Yeah.
There's breakdancing.
Reaganomics is in full swing.
Yes. We could be nuked by the Russians at any moment.
Yeah.
Actually, although I now realize that could be 2023.
It's true.
Right.
Everything
We're back to
about
2023.
Reaganomics is still very much in full swing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Inflation's out of control. The Klan is resurgent. Man, you didn't live through the Reagan era.
No, I didn't.
What year were you born?
91.
Damn. That's a good ass year.
Is it?
I don't know. I just feel like the 90s, baby. You know? You were born with like Jinko pants on.
Yeah, I was born with Jinko pants. They're like, what the hell?
That's what we saw in the amniocentesis scan. We're picking up a lot of Janko, sir.
Oh no, this is an emergency situation.
Jenkins, we're picking up a lot of Janko. What was I gonna say? We can do that. We can start a little bit. We didn't do a fit check last time, but we can do a little fit check this time.
Well, if you want to.
Let's do it.
Mine's not that impressive.
I think it's cute.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of wearing a red thrifted dress that I got tailored shorter.
Hey.
And then I'm wearing socks and my Mary Janes. So I kind of dress like full second grader energy. You know what I mean?
Yes. You should have
That's
hair.
like my new aesthetic. It's like playground chic. It's either that or like loose clothes.
Right.
Yeah. Those are my two kind of directions I'm going in.
Like you're ready to be seen on the swings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't be weird if I was on a seesaw right now.
There you go.
Yeah. And Mike, you're wearing?
I'm wearing my polo.
Uh-huh.
It's been bleach dyed.
It looks really cool.
Thank you. My wife did it. It was one of the many projects we did during the pandemic.
Yeah. Just trying to feel something.
Can I tell you about that?
Yeah.
Can I tell you about we're going to be talking about feelings today. There's going to be a lot of feelings.
I love it.
On this episode.
I know last was business. Thank God we're moving to feelings. This is where I'm much more comfortable in this zone.
Well, we are talking about feelings. We're going to talk in context of work.
Oh my God, that's true. Kind of a combo.
It's going to be a little bit of a combo. So there still will be 10x returns on investment.
Of course.
But with feelings.
ROI. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm wearing that. I'm wearing my polo dad shorts. I am wearing my little Alden snuff suede.
I just realized you brought a jacket.
I have a cotton jacket,
which is
thing.
psycho. It's so hot.
It's pretty warm. But I love wearing jackets.
I know. I feel like
summer
summer is not your season. I don't mean to drag you in your looks because I think your looks are always great.
No, I hear what you're saying.
But you do thrive on layering.
Oh, so much layering.
And what I imagine you wearing is like a vest, or sweaters, and it's just not it. The summer is not the time for that.
So I have this thing. This is my controversial take for today, which is that I think men over a certain age should not wear t-shirts
at all.
Over unless you're like really doing construction work or something. I see. Or like really gardening or something like that.
Interesting. What's the age cutoff?
I don't know what it is. I would say maybe like 39.
Okay.
Because here it is. Men's necks are weird. You got weird necks. You ever seen like an old dude's neck? Like, he never puts sunscreen on there. It's all crackly.
Describe what weird means.
It's all red and like crackly and like leathery, you know?
Is that what yours looks like?
I don't think so, because I always wear a collar.
Oh my God. So you're protecting yourself.
I like to protect, but most dudes don't do that. And we just like...
Now that you say it, I've never seen the back of your neck.
I don't even have a back of the neck.
Whoa.
But
shit.
I feel back of the neck, that's a young man's game.
Yeah.
That's a young,
now I'm going to clock it so hard.
Just look around.
On the train, I'm going to be looking at men's necks.
Most men don't have great back of necks.
Back of necks.
And so,
neck backs.
As you get older, your muscles in your upper back, which is really what helps you look real big and masculine, is like kind of like gets a little weaker. So you're just like, you need a little fluffing with the collar. That's my hot take. I'm gonna say it. But
I'm not gonna lie, I'm staring at every man's neck now through the windows.
These guys, look, Well,
like that neck.
Yeah,
that
it's
neck
okay.
It's fine. That neck's fine. Yeah,
but
he's wearing a t-shirt.
You're starting to see what I say.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Okay.
But I will say, what I used to do in the summer is I wear a lot of Hawaiian shirts, and I still do.
Yeah.
And I go real slutty with it.
Whoa.
3 buttons undone.
Whoa.
Wild blow. Just like almost you can see my navel.
Yeah, that's cool guy. That's cool guy stuff.
Again, I'm getting a little old for that game.
I see.
So
you could just
now-
wear it not so buttoned down. Then it's lame.
That's very lame.
You just look like an Asian dad.
yeah.
I see.
Which is what I am.
Yeah.
But I want some.
What if you
mystique.
wear like a little bra underneath?
Like so the lace kind of peeks out a little
Yeah,
bit?
so it's a little bit more conservative, but
I've been reading that's the new thing is to have the exposed bra under
really?
the dress. I don't know.
I don't know
On
either.
Instagram? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Okay.
I'm learning as you learn.
I forgot that I'm talking to second grader Jane.
Yeah. I'm just trying to learn my alphabet. I don't know about you. Yeah.
Trying to learn my alphabet. So if you're trying to learn your alphabet, why don't you go to patreon.com/Asian Not Asian Pod, and it's the best way to support the podcast. Usually we give out shout outs, but we don't have a Patreon person today, so we'll catch up with it next week. But again, that's patreon.com/Asian Not Asian Pod. If you're on the podcast, why don't you, if you can, leave a review, hit 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. You can also leave a review. Let us know what you think. Men, should we be having our back of necks exposed?
I think you should. Show it off while you have it.
No,
Show it off
Think about
while
it,
you
because
have it.
Okay, older dude, I think very minimum. You're wearing a t-shirt. You still maybe you got to wear one of those cute handkerchiefs, that you can wear around your neck.
I do like that.
Right?
Yeah, I like a
older
handker-
guy
yeah.
with a handkerchief. You're covering
Even a
the back
younger
of the-
guy with a handkerchief.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like a hanky. I love a hanky.
A little hanky.
Yeah.
We're gonna get right into the podcast here. Our guest today is a self-described softie. Okay, she's a therapist. Completed your training, or you're still in training?
Still in training.
Still in training. Therapist in training. Wrote the book "Working with Feelings: Caring for Your Employees Through Cultural Humility and Emotional Fluency." She and I used to work together long
Wow.
ago. Okay, give it up for Isadora Torres. You seem very hot. Are you okay?
Yeah, I am very
It's
hot.
very warm in here.
It
It's
is
really
very
hot,
warm.
yeah.
I think I regulated my body temperature by holding a cold water bottle near my neck.
So now it's like a warm water bottle.
Yeah, it's not the best thing to be drinking right now.
But you're
But it did its job.
It did its job.
Yeah.
I see you put it on the back of your neck.
Yeah.
That's okay. Women, you
Women
guys,
back of necks.
back
is
of necks,
okay.
great. You all go for it.
It's the men's
It's the men.
Yeah.
neck backs.
I'm looking around. Look at all these guys in their
I think
t-shirts.
women just take care of their necks.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think women
I
just
think
take
that's
care
what
of
it
themselves
is.
in general.
Yeah, that too.
Let me tell you where
Do
the
you have a
rules start.
skincare routine?
No.
See, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Can you
Hey.
imagine being in your 40s without a skincare routine?
Hey.
Ugh. I feel like I look like leather.
Yeah.
Like weathered leather at that.
That's what I'm saying. Most men, you look at a dude's back and neck. It's like it looks like he put his wallet
Do you
on
put
the back. of his neck.
sunblock on?
I do put sunscreen on in the summer. Like as
Not in the winter?
You're supposed to do it all year round.
No.
The sun, this is wild to me.
No. The angles when it's
I'm
all low.
so angry.
No
Do
way.
you put it on your neck too?
Sometimes.
Where does it stop?
Sometimes.
Like your sunscreen application.
When I do put it on, I mainly put it on the back of my neck.
Wow.
Not
Yeah.
on your face?
I put it on my face.
And then your back of your neck.
I would say it's like below where my hat is, right? Where the brim,
You know,
it's my
because
face.
like you're bald. You should also put on top of your head too.
I do when I'm not wearing a hat.
Okay.
But you're usually hat.
I
Yeah.
usually have a hat on.
Yeah. Because you have a nice shape head. Good for you.
Okay.
You know, some people can't.
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
It can't be like, I dream about being bald, but I can't.
I feel I got a weird shaped head.
No, you have a
it's
pretty good-
very aerodynamic. I look like a
long.
butt plug. Okay, my head shape looks like a butt plug.
Nice.
I'm so mad about the skincare thing.
Are you that surprised?
I'm
No
not
guy
surprised,
has one.
But I know no guy has one. But like, why?
because
Why?
they're conditioned to
yeah,
do that.
exactly. Because of the patriarchy. Like, why do we
Yeah,
have to buy all these
it's the
products and have
patriarchy.
beautiful skin? And then
Don't-
dudes, it's like it's fine for you to have gross.
Don't get
Leathery
me.
skin.
Don't get this. Don't lay this on my patriarchy Okay, you all like this. You guys like this.
No, I think all men should have a skincare routine.
Okay, give me.
But at least put sunscreen on.
Or like wash your face.
Yeah, wash your face
Twice a day.
But with like water, because that's what I do.
No.
Yeah, no.
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 You're just going for a swim.
Yeah. Literally, you're just showering your face for 2 seconds.
Give me because my wife is admittedly very on it with me about this. She actually very nice. The one kind of skincare thing I kind of do is when I shave, I love shaving. So I have like a nice, I do it old school. I have like a shaving brush that like I use to kind of like get the soap all sudsy, and I put that on, and then I shave with I shave with like a
single
nice
blade.
A safety razor. I have a safety razor.
Ooh, nice.
And then Gina got me this really nice after shave, which is from Aesop. It's like a lotion. It's not because I tried looking for an aftershave and everything was like Old Spice, and I had one and I put it on and I was like, it's 1987.
Yeah,
and
you
I was
smell like you're 14.
It was very, very
Yeah.
strong. So she got me this really nice one. And then after I do that, I'm feeling prompted to be like, oh, I'm so dewy right now. Now I will put on some. Why are you laughing?
I'm so dewy.
I'm so dewy. Well, I'm just saying that, like, you know, I get in the mood,
Yeah,
you
get in
know,
the
it's all
mood.
steamy because I have to have the water real hot. And I'm just like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like getting in the bathtub and I'm shaving my legs. And then, oh, wait, no, well, hello.
That was a
I would actually
fantasy.
love that. Yeah.
No, but like, I feel then I'm prompted to be like, you know, I just took care of the lawn. And now I really gotta,
That's such a disgusting image right
you
now.
know, I just took care of my shit, so I gotta like take, you know, now I will put on sunscreen and maybe there's like a Clinique moisturizer thing that I steal from my wife that I will use. I can't remember what it is, but it's I really like it. But otherwise, I'm waking up and I'm like, ugh.
To be fair, does everyone think you're like 17? Because you look 17.
I look
Or like
old
at
as
least you're like in your
dirt.
20s. Debatable.
Okay. It depends. I think I look younger than I really am, but I don't think I look like fresh faced.
Also, you dress not like a 17 or 20-year-old.
But he's just like he's 70 since you were what, 20?
That's true.
70? Is that what you said?
Yeah, reversely, you dress like you're 70.
Yeah, I'm Benjamin Button of dressing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like as I get older, I will start wearing more and more billabong.
Well, when I first met you, all you used to wear was suits.
I used to wear suits a lot,
Oh
and then I
my
went
God.
through a kind of like a Rick Owens
I was going to
phase.
say the Rick Owens because I remember the shoes and the large pants.
The large pants, the
like
shoes
large black pants.
that I would wear at my.
look like a nun. Yeah.
I look like a nun.
Yeah, you, like
Your
a
nun
cool,
era.
like a cool looking nun, but like it was definitely like a cool looking nun, and then you were like street business with like
Business,
a
suit.
very much full on suit.
What do people think
That
about?
is so funny.
What do people say about that? Like in the halls of my. This is where we worked together.
I don't know. I think they just always thought that you dressed cool.
Oh, that's good. It was
Yeah,
all
I
positive.
don't think anything weird by
Yeah.
any means.
Okay, fair enough.
I just imagine someone coming in and being like, hey, I need to talk to Mike Nguyen for this project. Like, yeah, he's right over there. He's the one who's dressed like a cool nun.
dude, just hire a cool nun.
Yeah.
He works at the social
Wow, this is
media.
really awesome.
Whoa, I didn't
We have
know.
a nun on board. That's
have
like
a
something I
nun
never
on staff.
expected. Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're gonna go ahead and pitch the Catholic Church.
To be fair, we were like the first social team, so I think
Social
you're like
media team.
yeah. So we were like on par for like being cool. So they were like
Wow.
cool nun, cool nun. We buy that.
Yeah.
I kind of almost want to talk about our boss, but we will for a little later. Later.
Yeah.
we'll
Oh
do it
my
later on,
God.
our
Oh,
boss.
yeah.
Okay. Anyways, I
Have
don't know
you
how we
kept
got
up
here.
with her?
We'll get into it.
It is kind of wild because I think
kinda
I
crazy.
think you know what you're gonna say, and I'm
Yeah.
like, it is wild.
Okay.
It's so weird.
We're gonna put it
love
aside for a
gossip
little.
so
put it
much.
aside for a little bit. But what was I saying? Anyways, skincare, fellas. If you want to get into skincare, check out our Patreon.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/AsianNoddAsianPod. That's not true at all. But thanks for coming on the show. You and I, we started at McCann. You know, advertising world.
Yeah.
Did all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of like half in there, half out of there. You're kind of started moving into kind of like people work a little bit.
People operations, HR.
Yeah. You know, and I think also you around not during the was it during the pandemic or like right before?
During.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you know, hey, we're all kind of having our issues, trying to feel anything. That was what I was going to talk about. I think I have had, I don't know, working through an alcohol dysfunction thing right now.
Uh-huh.
So the feeling thing, I hear what you're saying because you tried to find a therapist with a similar background to you.
Yeah.
Right? You're
Filipino.
right. And you couldn't find one.
Nope. No.
And so you're like, yeah.
Yeah, actually, it was so funny. It just is coming back to me right now. I distinctly remember actually having a conversation with you. This is right when there were so many like anti-Asian attacks.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you even remember this, but we were like, I just remember we were talking about it. I don't know if we were in person or texting, but you were like, I'm like so afraid to go outside that like I feel like I'm gonna get punched in the face even if I was wearing a hoodie.
Oh.
Do you remember that?
I think so. There was definitely maybe a couple of months where I was like, it's open season on us. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Like people are doing this with impunity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would like walk around like incognito.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I'm not Asian. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it was like messing with me pretty badly, and so like I was looking. I'm still with a therapist that I've had for years, but she was a Black woman, and I don't know. There was a part of me that was like curious to know like what was it like to have a therapist that with the same background or kind of that same hyper awareness and sensitivity to like the world.
Totally.
And I just like couldn't find one, or it was all booked up. But then when I started looking into like the actual population of therapists and what were considered or what was the percentage of clinicians that were Asian American, it was like less than 3%. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, well, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And growing up Filipino, there's like, a whole thing about it's the stigma of mental health. And it just kind of all accumulated into this decision of like, I think I'm going to go back to school to become a therapist.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I didn't really have a plan, but it was just more of like, I wouldn't even say it was even a calling necessarily, but it just felt like such a bias for action because it was like, well, I can't force anyone else to become a therapist.
Yeah.
Oh,
So.
you totally can. I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, that's like kind of where it started. And yeah, it's been really cool to start having clients and be passed on clients specifically wanting me because I'm Filipino or because I'm like Asian American, which is like such a interesting experience to be chosen in that regard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's that level of understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
I mean, I've had the same Asian therapist. She's Korean since 2019, and I chose her specifically because I wanted an Asian woman, and it has like changed my life. Having the shorthand of that experience, like I don't have to explain very hard, and I didn't realize how much of a hurdle that was before when like talking to people. I'm like, oh, she just like gets it, like everything.
Oh.
So yeah, that was like my number one thing was finding an Asian woman. So that rules.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Do you feel though that sort of ironically you became a therapist because you wanted someone who had your background, but then you can't be your own therapist, so then you're like helping other people, but you can't help yourself. You ever think about that?
All therapists should have therapists.
But like you can't therapize yourself.
Oh,
Right?
I therapize myself every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Try taking a psycho pharmacology class, like where you have to assess the DSM-5, and like everyone thinks they have some kind of like illness.
Right.
Like for a while, I was trying to self-diagnose myself with OCDP. I'm like, no, I definitely have these symptoms. And my friend who's a psychiatrist, was like, no, you don't. And I was like, I think I do. And he was like, no.
Yeah.
And so basically that entire quarter, everyone's like diagnosing themselves and then diagnosing themselves that they didn't have these symptoms.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I want to get into that. First, we're going to do our usual segment, which is what kind of Asian were you this week? Trying to think what kind of Asian I was. This
Yeah,
week.
I was like, do you have something?
I do have something. Aha.
Okay.
Yes.
Mike, what kind of Asian were you this week?
I was a 4th of July Asian.
Wow.
Yes.
Describe that.
That is, let me tell you something. 4th of July, that's dad Christmas. Okay.
Okay.
We pull all the shit out.
Sure.
We got like, we got all the gear. This is the day we prepare. And much like maybe other people, it's like their Christmas is Christmas. Us, it's like 4th of July. So it's like, this is the time I get to flex.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me tell you something. I have, don't laugh. You're laughing. An instant read thermometer, food thermometer. Y'all of you know what that is?
No.
It's so expensive. It's a thermometer, right? And like it has a little probe, and you stick it into whatever one thing you want to measure the temperature of. Now, usually with thermometers, you got to stick it in there, and you watch the stupid needle go up.
Yeah.
And then you're like, did it stop? Did it not stop? Is it what the fuck temperature is this?
Yeah.
You don't know. Not the instant read thermometer. As soon as you stick it in there, boom, tells you exactly what the temperature is. Why is that important? Because when you're grilling, You need to know exactly the
at the
temperature
time.
there, right at that moment. So you need to know, is it 155, is it 165, is it 140, whatever, is it medium rare, that kind of thing. That's how you get that precision.
Oh my God. Did you buy it for yourself?
No, I got it for Father's Day.
Okay.
My first Father's Day, which was a magical day.
Yeah.
Okay, because I had my son. My first Father's Day had this instant read thermometer.
Yeah.
Had a martini. The trifecta, baby.
Wow. I would have never told you that's the trifecta.
Martini,
dad-
baby,
it's a
meat
dad
thermometer.
trifecta.
Yeah.
I when I was there, I was like, this is why I was put on this planet. Okay.
Yeah.
I had everything.
Was
I
to
needed.
measure meat temperature while holding your son and drinking a martini. Okay,
Are you a good griller?
Not really.
Oh, that's
okay.
the
Yeah, I was
disappointing.
like, we were talking about grilling last week when I was over.
Yeah, you should come over and grill.
I
I'm
know,
not a great
but
griller.
you didn't really say. You're like, we love grilling, but it's not like
You know what it is?
Not a talent.
The other part of having the grilling is, besides the gear,
Mm-hmm.
is really what I would call almost like you're almost like a stage manager, because you're queuing different things as they come in.
I could see that. You're stage queuing
What?
me.
You're like,
mix.
okay, I need
Yeah.
hot dogs. I
Yeah.
need hot dogs
Like,
now.
hot dogs on 3.
Hot dogs on 3,
Yeah.
2, and hot
Wow.
dogs.
Yeah.
And we're
You have like a
turning,
clipboard.
and we're turning. And what are those?
Yeah.
Get those chicken wings off of there. Where the
The chicken wings are like, thank you, 5.
So that's really the other aspect of grilling is after.
But it
you
was.
know,
But
yeah.
you grilled this. The weather was really bad.
It was shit weather.
Yeah.
It was rainy for up until like maybe like 3 o'clock, and I had
Yeah.
to like make a audible call as far as like, are we gonna grill or no grill?
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And I was stage manager.
managing.
Stage manager. I was like, is
Producing
this
the
a
thing.
go or no go for?
Do we have to refund tickets? I don't know.
Is this lights curtains or not? Curtains up or not? And I said, I just made the call. I was like, we're doing it. I got the little, I got a chimney, which is how you light the coals, and you got that going. You got it real hot, and this is why I always invite other dudes over, because I have them manage that part, because it's like it's a lot of work to like, you have to stand there, you have to like, the chicken has to go on first, and then like burgers have to be on the hottest part, but they cook really fast, and you got to turn them. It's a lot of managing.
Yeah.
Did
The
you
hot
Google
dogs-
this?
No, you just gotta
just
like
know?
learn. You just learn how you make a lot of mistakes. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I would put the hot dogs on too early, and now they're done fast. They're like immediately done, and so because they're not really meat, they're already cooked. So like, so you pull them off, and now they're cold, and now you're getting the chicken on, but the chicken takes forever. And
Right,
like,
the chicken has to go
Chicken takes
first.
forever,
Yeah.
and I put it on the wrong spots, and now they're burned, and like, oh, the veg, you forgot about the veggies, everybody. So like, I've been learning these things as
Yeah.
I've been going.
Wow.
Oh, y'all didn't think it would be a cool story, huh?
Wow, a really cool
I was like, do you feel
story.
Whatever. Okay, you don't understand the pressure of stage manager grilling.
Okay, but did the show go well?
It did go well.
Oh,
It did go well.
congratulations.
It did go well.
Did you get an applause?
Did we get an applause? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a whole bunch of not me, but a whole bunch of the people at my barbecue had a bunch of edibles, and they got real sleepy.
Yeah, and also they were just hungry. Like, to impress was a very low bar.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I made sure. I
Yeah.
made sure. I was like,
Yeah.
this show is gonna go great.
Great. Yeah, and you're like, you should take an
Look
edible at
under your
like 3
seat.
p.m.
Look,
Yeah.
look under your seat. There's 10 milligram of
love
THC
that, yeah.
and 10 of CBD. So
That's fun.
that was me. I was stage managering it. It's it takes a good like hour to clean up everything.
Yeah.
So
It's
Yeah,
like a
that's
lot of
annoying.
work.
it was a lot of work. And the next day I was like so tired.
Yeah.
I didn't even I purposely didn't drink very much. But I was just like blasted. So
Totally.
that was me, stage manager, grilling Asian 4th of July dad.
Love that.
Wow, that was quite
Congrats.
a
Jenny,
story.
Isadora, who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Jenny.
I've been debating how to approach the topic.
Okay.
I've been a kissing Asian. I've been kissing boys.
Oh.
And I won't go into detail, but
Boo. I want to know the detail.
but
Okay,
I've-
one knee up. Okay, sorry,
both
what?
knees up.
Sorry.
Mike, no. This is PG.
Okay.
But yes, I've been kissing a little bit. And things are progressing, but in a way where I'm figuring it out. But I haven't really been dating like for a while. So it's like a return to dating. It's nice to have someone have a crush on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah.
It's like very, very nice to have that feeling. And also, I think I'm just feeling more like, oh, I can do it. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like, oh, I can date.
Well, you didn't think you could
definitely
date?
certainly date.
Yeah, like when you don't date for a while, it feels more and more like it's just the memory of dating gets farther away from you, and like the practice of it isn't really like regular anymore. So like everything feels a little bit more like scary.
Yeah.
Like a first date feels scary when you haven't been dating for a while.
Yeah.
Putting yourself out there is scary. Like you kind of forget like the steps.
Yeah.
And now I'm like feeling it again, like the tempo of it. And I'm like, oh, I can do this. And I also just like feel hotter.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you should.
Yeah. So that has been my week.
What has made you feel hotter?
Like just constant validation.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, just having I don't know, doing the physical stuff, but also like getting the validation
From this person.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also just like truly like the verbal validation.
Okay, yeah. Got it. Okay.
Like, oh, like, because when you're by yourself, you're kind of like, and like, you know, online or whatever, you're like, am I disgusting?
Just typing it into Google.
Yeah. Am I disgusting? Or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, you don't feel, it's hard to feel like good in your body. I think like I'm very in my brain and not in my body. And so I'm always trying to like break things down into facts. Does that make sense? Like, I think I'm a very like logical person. My therapist has told me like, oh, you talk a lot about like your thoughts, but you don't really talk that much about like your physical body at all.
Oh.
You're intellectualizing.
I'm like majorly that person who intellectualizes everything.
Which is like a defense mechanism.
Absolutely. And so I think that's like, oh, I'm just like getting more. So like before I would be like, no, I'm hot. Like just like saying it to myself to like try to convince myself that I believe it.
Okay.
And now it's a little bit more like I actually like feel it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at.
I love that for you.
Thank you.
You are hot.
Thank you. 2 women in the booth just going, you're hot. No, you're hot.
you're hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Real hot.
Yeah.
I'm glad. That's interesting about like, I never thought about like thinking mentally versus physically. Although I guess I do relate to that. That's interesting.
Are you also, do you intellectualize everything?
I definitely, I'm in my head all the time.
Yeah.
For sure. I think I like my body.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. What is that like?
That's really great for you. Yeah.
But I think
Tell me
what
more.
I think it is like I don't know if this is a guy thing, similar to how we don't have a facial regimen.
The patriarchy.
Yeah, it's the major.
Just throw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think it is patriarchy because for me, I think of my body as like, is it doing the things I want it to do?
Yeah.
Like, can I accomplish the things
Functional
I need?
than it is
Yeah.
about.
Functional.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Which
is
I think-
patriarchy.
I mean, I would love to get. I have a dream where I'm like, my you know how like that Pilates guy started Pilates?
Yeah.
I would start a exercise thing where I just teach people to get up off the ground. I think that's very important, especially as you get older. And
Like,
I think functionally,
stand up?
just from lying down to getting all the way, standing all the way up,
I see.
Okay.
which is
It's a mental
It's
thing.
very functional, and I think if you can do that, you can do a lot of things. And I think it would be a good way to de-emphasize for men and for women, like the whole like I need to have 6-pack, I need to have like this amount
so
of
like
body
small
fat.
wins, essentially.
It's just like a reframing of like what your body should be able to do.
Yeah.
It's like being grateful that your body can
Works.
do what it can do,
Yeah. Maybe
rather
you could
than
do it,
criticizing the way it looks.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, if you could do that and you feel like good doing it, then you're hot.
Yeah.
You're a hottie.
I rationally understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But emotionally don't.
So how do you emotionally feel about being a patriarchy poppy?
Pretty good.
Okay,
yeah. So card carrying member, been a long time.
Wow.
So Isadora, how about you? What kind of
Yeah.
Asian were you this week?
I think I've been a really good unemployed Asian. So context, I was freelancing and now starting a full-time job, but I don't start it till Monday. So I've had a week to like kind of fuck off a little bit,
I love
and
that.
it's been so nice.
What have you been doing?
I've been going to the beach a lot. And then yesterday or the day before, I bought a pool pass. And so it was just at the pool.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's
I
a
was
pool
like,
pass? Is that like one?
It's like the hotels that have pools. You just buy a pass for a day.
Oh.
It's like
roof pools.
Yeah. It's like ridiculously stupid, but
so
like
such a fucking New York thing.
it
by
is
the
such
way.
a fucking
It's
New York
so
thing.
New
No,
York.
because like where am I gonna find a pool?
It's
I mean,
true.
fair.
And it was like 90 degrees that day.
I know.
How-
It's hot.
How much was a pass
Like 95.
For a day?
Yes.
for the one day?
Yes.
And then which
Wow.
pool did you use?
It was. I guess it was. So I think it's the McCarran pool, but they got rebranded to Coda.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's a private pool now,
No, it's a hotel pool.
but it's the McCarran pool.
The hotel. Do you know?
What do you? Yeah. Okay.
The McCarran Hotel has.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah,
I thought you were
yeah.
talking about the
The po-
McCarran
oh,
Park.
no, no,
pool.
no,
I was
no,
like,
no.
what kind of dystopian shit is this?
I was like, it should not be $95.
Damn.
No. It was like a hotel experience.
Okay, so it's a hotel
Yeah,
pool, and so is it a nice pool?
It was a nice pool.
Okay.
It was like a very great sized pool. Like obviously there was like bar service. Like people were coming up to you. You get a day bed, which is like also
Oh,
really
so
nice.
you get a space.
Yeah, like you get a whole space to like hunker down in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that to me was like worth it. Whatever. I pay for convenience.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love that. Treat yourself.
Yeah.
I can't hate on that. I mean, I would do that if I, could. for
Yeah.
sure. 95
So
bucks.
what am I gonna do otherwise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking go to the beach? Like that's such a
So far
too
away.
much.
The
No,
beach
no,
is
no.
really far.
It's so far. And like I only go to the beach when friends can drive.
Yeah.
100%.
Because I can't do the train thing anymore. I've been
Yeah.
living in New York for too damn long
Yeah.
to want to take the train over.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to the park when they used to have that like? This is so 2014. Like there was like a school bus that you could take to like Rockaway Beach.
School bus?
What?
It was like like one of these things you sign up online and they check you in with an iPad.
Oh my
and
God.
it's like
this
young,
is so 2014.
right? You
Yeah.
just like check in and you're like, oh, what? And it's like a whole bunch of people with bad tattoos and we're all like getting on and it's like chartered school bus and you take the school bus to Rockaway Beach.
No, I don't think I've ever did that.
Yeah, it was a thing for a hot minute because everybody wanted to go to the beach
Yeah.
and people didn't want to take the train, take the E all the way out there or whatever.
Yeah.
Or they didn't know anybody with a car.
Yeah,
and
or
so
take
it
the
was
ferry,
like,
which is
yeah.
also just as hard.
Yeah, how am I gonna let everybody know that I've got these bad tattoos and I've got a book about socialism if
Right.
I don't take the school bus?
Right.
Yeah.
So that was like the thing.
Were you
Wow.
on this bus?
I did once, but I will tell you because to get there you have to take the freeway. Do not take a school bus on the freeway
Yeah.
as a fully sized person.
Yeah.
There are no seatbelts. You're just bouncing around loosey goosey. It's just like my balls and just
Just his balls are loose though.
yeah,
Everything else is tucked.
Everything was
Everything else.
intact.
tucked in.
Tucked.
My balls are just flopping around. It hurt. Okay, so you just been living.
That sounds really
That
nice.
sounds
Yeah.
nice.
The weather has been pretty good for that stuff.
For that, yeah.
And I never have taken like time off between jobs. So like this was the first time where like the CEO of this company was like, you should just take an extra week off and like fuck off. Like
Yeah.
his words. And I was like, I will fuck off.
Good.
Wow.
Yeah.
We
so
all need to fuck off.
yeah, it was nice. So
So can you use a room to shower off? No, you just once you're done, you just kind of like towel off and leave.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds nice.
Yeah. I mean, it was a great pool. It was
I haven't
like
been to a pool this summer yet. I gotta get there.
It
The
was-
weather has been weird.
it has been weird, but I will tell you that like I don't know if because like the water, but it just felt infinitely cooler at the pool, and it was like in the city, so
Yeah.
it's not like I was out by
Yeah.
the water.
Were there any? Was there any? Hot people out, flirty? All that?
There were like some waspy looking people in the morning, and then normal people looking, and then around like 4 p.m. women with the BBL started coming around.
Wow.
So you got a
Oh.
collection. It was definitely diverse.
Wow, I
It's
love
diverse.
that. And I love that you're tracking the patterns because you're just there all day.
Yeah. I was just watching people.
Yeah.
I was like reading and watching people. It was great.
I love that.
Whoa.
And tanning, obviously.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's where you lose me. I hate tanning.
You don't like tan?
Yeah, the whole time I'm like, I just like don't want to tan.
Is it because you're a light skinned Asian person?
Probably that. Also, because I've been told like, don't. I also mole easily. Like I get moles really easily.
Yeah, same.
And so I like don't want moles. And so then I mostly when I'm in the sun, I want to be in the shade.
Fascinating.
I would love to read in a crazy amount of shade. I want the most shade you can get me.
So shady.
You want it like,
Like,
hot
so
and sunny, but like
shady.
but
the
it's like
shade.
you have like
Yeah.
one of those headlamps on because it's so shady,
I'm
so fucking dark.
covered.
You're
I'm
in a
like,
cave.
"Ooh,"
It's
yeah.
like, woo!
That is my number one pool day. I'm in a cave.
Look at me, I'm a mole.
Yeah.
Can't see
That's
shit.
like that's my best setup.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Respect.
Listen, I may have beautiful, ageless Asian skin, but when you get to be my age, you do worry about some things. You worry about things like thinning hair. And if you're worried about thinning hair, I want to tell you there's help. There's Nutrafol. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve hair growth, visible thickness, and visible scalp coverage for men and for women. Nutrafol's hair growth supplements use physician-formulated, natural, medical-grade ingredients. Their drug-free, patented technology provides consistent, reliable results. Take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month's subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code ASIAN. Find out why over 3,500 healthcare professionals recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. That's Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code ASIAN. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code ASIAN. Life doesn't happen on a bi-weekly basis, so why does your payday? The money you earn can be yours today with Earnin. Earnin is an app that gives you access to your pay as you work, up to $100 per day or up to $750 per pay period. Just download the Earnin app and verify your paycheck. Then access up to $100 a day as you work and leave an optional tip. Any money you access plus tips are automatically repaid from your next paycheck. If I needed something like Earnin, it's what I'd use. And this is why. Earnin is simple, easy to use, and a fast way to get access to money you need immediately. Make Earnin a part of your financial routine and join Earnin's over 3.5 million customers who say things like, when I think about Earnin, I think about financial stability and security. It gives me a lot of peace of mind. Download Earnin today, spelled EARNIN, in the Google Play or Apple App Store. When you download the Earnin app, type in Asian under podcast when you sign up. It'll really help the show. Asian under podcast. Subject to your available earnings, daily max and pay period max. See earnin.com/TOS for details. Earnin is a financial technology company, not a bank. Bank products are issued by Evolve Bank and Trust, member FDIC. I respect that.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thanks for coming on to the show.
Yeah.
It's interesting, again, because you and I used to work together, and then you kind of like are on this kind of like, I'm a therapist journey thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just like still in training, but you're kind of like half, I would say, a little bit corporate Asian.
Yeah,
but
corporate Asian.
Half corporate Asian, which we respect and love.
Mm-hmm.
And half sort of like this other thing where you're also kind of thinking about your mental health. And you have this book, Working with Feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, what is the sort of rundown with this book here?
Yeah, so it's an exploration of like how we start to view the workplace, especially through the especially like the expansion of like hybrid workplaces and like what does it mean to be a person of color specifically as like an author to explore these places and also understand the impact of emotions at work. Mm-hmm. And granted, I was also reflecting back in the last 2 years, like I'd be remiss not to mention the fact that it's been a shit show and like how does that impact us the way we live, but also how we navigate work, and then essentially really thinking about what does it mean to build a more compassionate work culture, which as someone who's in HR, like that is really important to me. And like when we start to think about what are those elements and facets of things that we need to consider, like it just kind of culminated into this book. So I kind of talk about it like as a bit of a workbook because it does ask you to think about a lot. It asks you to think a lot about your own values, beliefs, and attitudes about work, but also how does that impact others? And basically, I think I come up with an hypothesis of like, there are some ways I think we could potentially try to improve our workplace culture. But and I don't say with like 100% confidence, but it's an hypothesis that I think is quite right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the hypothesis?
That managers really drive culture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Middle managers specifically. I think so much of the time people talk about top down and sometimes even down top, but like really I think it's the middle, right? Because when you think about your middle managers, and that's like anyone that's like even EVP below or whatever, like they're the ones who are translating your company culture.
Yeah.
Like you have to think about company culture as like what happens behind closed doors, or like what happens when people aren't there kind of thing. Yeah. And like, I think Forbes or Harvard Business Review just released a study that said like 95% of people stay or leave their jobs because they're managers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see that.
Yeah.
I think that's so real.
Yeah.
Having been at a Google, like a big company.
Right.
Yeah.
It is so much less because I remember we would have to provide feedback to our like top VPs, like SVP, like top people. And I'm like, I mean, I don't I don't know. They don't even know who I am. Like to me, what's more important is like the 4 people above me.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like those are people I talk to and I hear about constantly.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I don't understand why we're always only looking at the very top people.
Yeah. And those are the people who can like, you know, make your life a living hell or make the place really nice.
Yeah.
You know, like if you got a really good manager and like you're buddy with them, then it's like, oh, everything's pretty good because they'll listen to you.
Yeah.
It makes or breaks the experience.
100%.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
So later on for me, the whole like, you know, POC thing too. It's like how does that sort of like work in there also?
Yeah. So when we talk about professionalism and like what does it mean to be professional in the workplace, it's really rooted in white culture and more specifically
Here we go. Yes.
white supremacy.
Oh, let me open up my bottle of water. Give me the tea. Go.
Yeah. And I think that what does that mean? That's such an incongruent element of how we are. If we're not, you know, like this is the world that we live in. But unfortunately, obviously, like as a woman of color, like I don't necessarily want to ascribe to white culture, especially white dominant culture. And I mean, you see this within like the Crown Act, like, right? That's just like to hair. So we're like, there's this expectation of faltering and ascribing to white culture. And you know, you have to consider too, like as people of color, as like non-dominant folks in general, like we are also coming from our own individual context, whether that's cultural, community, whatever the case may be. And that has impact, right, of how we essentially exist in the workplace. So you're now looking at multiple dynamics and now looking at multiple contexts of like how a person should exist.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like a mind fuck if you think about it.
Right.
Sure.
It's not just like I'm coming and this is who I am. Like it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
And it's also thinking about the people then who you work with in tangent in that and the dynamics. And you're not even thinking about just like race dynamics. You're thinking about gender, social economics, like all these things that like I think we're aware of, but don't realize that its impact on a one-to-one basis.
Whoa. So like how do you like as a regular desk jockey type person, like how do you start to like navigate through all of that? Because that seems like a lot, and it's like on top of that you're like dealing with Slacks and emails and all sorts of bullshit like that. Like
yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I don't know, and I think that's what the book is trying to explore. It's like how do you navigate that? Like I think oftentimes it is about awareness, right? And so when we talk about cultural humility and emotional fluency, which is like part of the title of the book.
Oh yeah.
Cultural humility is about being able to assess your own beliefs and attitudes so that you can better understand other people. So it's like, if I understand why I'm like this, then I understand why you are particularly like informed in the way that you are.
Right.
It gives me just more context, but also perspective, right? At the end of it, it's like, can I picture myself in your shoes?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be necessarily one-to-one understanding, but it is just more contextually putting together the pieces, so to speak. And emotional fluency is about gaining verbal language to really assess and talk about your feelings, but also read the room and be able to assess those feelings. Yeah. So an example that I did at a workshop was like, you know, it was kind of like heads up. And the feeling was accomplished. So like try to explain to me like what this feeling is without using the word. And of course, like so many people had different definitions, thus, you know, really presenting the idea that like this is all very unique to us.
Right.
So just because it's a shared word doesn't mean that it means the same or is received in the same way.
Right.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is so real.
Too real.
Yeah. I mean, and I want to say too that like, you know, I'm not an executive. Like I am a regular manager. And like that to me was a very important perspective because when you look at the landscape of business books, they are specifically written by like CEOs, C-suiters, like people that have like of who I would say are a little bit far removed from the day to day, right? Like you don't really hear the accounts of someone who's just like literally to your point, answering Slacks all day.
Yeah.
Or like having to send the status report or whatever the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
And so for me, it was very, very critical to when I looked at the type of stories I wanted to tell, I wanted to find people who were like me. In the sense that like, again, just middle managers who have been working their way up and like still unclear about all the other shit that's happening, but also trying to be an adult. So, yeah, I was very particular about featuring non-dominant folks. There are white people in the book, but like I was very clear on trying to find stories that weren't necessarily like I think talked about as much in the narrative in the main media narrative around like workplace culture and politics.
Wow. Jenny, any thoughts?
I have a million thoughts right
Go for
now.
it.
Yeah.
I don't even know where so I'm just gonna word vomit.
Okay, go.
Through it.
I've been on multiple teams, different work teams and whatever. And there was one specifically where I really came to understand like the importance of like, or how people can bring up people who are like them. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to be more specific. My team was mostly all white women in their 40s.
Okay.
Who had children.
Okay.
And so I, at the time, was in my 20s as an Asian woman doing comedy in New York. I did not fit. I was diversity on that team. And then I remember I was like immediately boxed in as other, not in an outright way, but it was like immediate. Like lunch, they all go to lunch together, and then I was just like there.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, like little things. And it like very quickly, it's like fake nice, right? Like, I love your hair today. And like, that's it. Mm-hmm. And then they're all talking about like people and things I don't know. And it was just like immediately, like, I was like, oh, this has nothing to do with work. It's just personal.
Yeah.
But I already don't feel like I'm part of this team. And then I didn't, and then I started like struggling to care about work after that, because I already was like, I'm an outsider. The only reason I was hired, I believe, is because my manager was Asian. But she was also around my age and wasn't fitting in with the other managers.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So it was like this really weird thing where like our little team was like diverse-ish, but then like everyone else was not.
Yeah.
And then I promptly left that team because I was like, I just don't feel good here. Like I don't feel, it's not even about the work. It's like, I don't feel good here. So then I'm trying to bring that to thing. Yep. But then during that period, I was like going to therapy and like starting to break down my experience in it. So I came to like, a lot of the topics, themes that you just touched on, which is like, as a person who's like maybe not part of the majority, you have all these other cultural contexts, and I just couldn't fit into the sorority vibe, no matter how hard I tried.
Yeah.
And I was thinking a lot about it, and then at the end, after I left the team, I was like, did they ever think about it from their perspective about me being in that room? Because I'm doing a lot of work over here, spinning my wheels, trying to figure out why I'm struggling and I feel bad. But do they know at all?
Yeah.
Like, do they think about that at all? Do they think about how the only people getting promoted are white women?
What would it mean to know their answer?
I'm gonna assume like what their perspective is, which is like probably for them, they're not doing anything. They're just existing, and they're the norm. So I'm sure, like, I don't know what it would mean. I think it would only confirm what I'm thinking, or like my view of the world, which is that the people in power aren't considering how their impact on everyone else.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, that was not a question. I just started talking.
No, I like that.
No, I mean, I think what you've experienced is very common, especially for folks who look like us.
Right.
Like that is like, unfortunately, it's not a very like unique experience in that regard, right? Like so many of us have like been in rooms where we're like, fuck, I'm the only person that looks like me in this room.
Right.
And now I'm not only tokenized, now I feel like I have to play a part and be better, or be told that like we have to be better than our counterparts, right? And it's funny, the thing that you mentioned too, there is this little bit of like me mentality, right? And that's like when people tend to hire people who are like them, that's similar, like in race, background, school, all those things. And in part it's like familiarity, in part it's like hoping to bring psychological safety and all those pieces. But again, when you zoom out, right, like, is it really?
Yeah.
And I don't know, and I don't know if this is like, I don't know if it's like malicious or unintentional, but I do think that like there has to be some intentionality put in place so that you're right, the other people can see like, oh fuck, like there is something in this dynamic that I may not be realizing, and how do I bring it to the forefront, and then for it to be a much better working relationship, right? Because at the end of it, like, work bonds are relationships.
Yeah.
These are people, quote unquote, you're married to, more or less, right? Like you have to build a modicum of trust to even get anywhere with like good work. Like think about all the projects and stuff that like you've considered to be really successful. It's because there's a level of trust. There's a level of chemistry there.
Yeah.
And that took time, right?
Yeah.
But that also required a lot of psychological and emotional safety. And if that isn't provided to you, then how could you?
Right.
So yeah, it's like stuff like that. I mean, because I've definitely experienced that, and it's like I think about that a lot. Like, how do I? And then you go into like, how do you even bring that up? Right?
Yeah, I know. That was the thing I really fought with at the time was, do I bring this up? Because does it help or hurt me to bring it up?
Yeah.
Like there's like a lot of calculation that I did, and only at the very end, because my manager switched to a white man, which at that time was diversity on the team, which is wild. But I at the end when I decided to leave, I was like, I think it's worth bringing up. I don't know if he can change anything, but I'm gonna at least say my piece.
Yeah,
and it was safe enough because I was leaving. But I did think about it, and I opted to not say anything.
Oh, you didn't?
Until the very end.
I mean, okay.
And what happened?
What happened then?
Yeah.
He was like, he's like, everything you're saying, I did not realize, but I understand it now. Because I was like, if you notice, everyone who leaves is a person of color. They are like the first people to leave this team.
That says a lot.
And the people who stick around, because there are some people there on this team for like 8 years, right? They're all white women who are like friends with the person in charge of this team. Yes. I was like, it's just to me like the clearest version of like keeping certain people around you and only helping the people that are like you, like tribalism. And then I said it, and he was like, "Wow, when you say it, now that you say it," I was like, "Okay, great."
Yeah,
but I for the beginning when I was like thinking about saying it, I was like, I just don't think there will be any change. I think it will hurt me more to bring this up than help me.
I could totally see like a worst case scenario of them going like, "What are you talking
exactly.
about?"
Or they'll say it to my face with a smile, "Thank you so much for saying that."
Oh my gosh, thanks.
And then they will turn around and talk about me behind my back.
Yeah.
It was like that environment.
Yeah.
And then you get, whatever.
Right.
Eliminated from that.
It's interesting.
Wow.
It's interesting because like I don't even think we really acknowledge the microseconds where we have to calculate what our next steps are.
Yeah.
So there's a story in the book, and I actually forgot about this experience. And it was only when I was interviewing this former coworker of mine that he brought it up. And that so he is a comic book writer, and he it's funny because I'm already whatever. And he wrote a specific comic book about the Black experience, and he was promoting it. It's getting huge. There's like merch, and our supervisor at the time was, in support, bought some of the merch. And because it was very like, I think it was it's basically what if Black people were actually like the X-Men? Like that's the reason why history's been the way it is. And so they're actually hiding the fact that like Black people have superpowers. So it's a really dope idea, everything. But like a lot of the covers are very I think controversial in a good way, right? Like bringing up like things that happened in the past as a way to communicate like this is all for a reason kind of thing. And one of the covers had the N-word on it as like, and it was like men behind whatchamacallit, like, when they're in jail.
Behind
like the bars.
Yeah. And so it was like showing like different like slurs essentially.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but this white ass woman thought it was appropriate to say it out loud, the N-word, like the full N-word.
Yeah.
And I think it just happened so quickly.
Yeah.
And it was me and him, and we were in the room in the office, and I guess I, again, don't remember this. He's like, you literally yelled out her name.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah, you just yelled it out. And I think she felt that level of scolding and like retreated, but didn't say anything and try to move on from it.
Whoa.
And I was like, what did you do? He was like, I had the split second of like, do I say something? Is it worth losing my job over? Because there's some shit.
That.
Yeah.
You're like seeing the pathways.
Yeah.
You're like going,
Totally.
you're freaking like Doctor Strange, just like looking at all the different alternate universes, what's going to happen. And I think a lot of times like 99% of the universes don't say anything. Just ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Gotta go. Okay. I'll get that status report to you next week. Bye.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what he said. He was like, it was just a choice of like, do I lose my job? Do I go to HR? Do I make this an uncomfortable situation for her?
Yeah.
Even though it's uncomfortable for me.
Whoa.
Right. And so, I was just like, I can't believe I forgot about that moment. And I was like, what did we do after? He was like, you and I just looked at each other and we walked out. Cause like, what were we supposed to do?
I know.
And I was like, yeah, like, fuck, like that's horrible.
Yeah.
You don't remember just yelling out the person's name?
I blacked out. I think it was probably a reaction thing where I just yelled her name. And this is like a really high up person too. And I don't know.
Was it just Karen? Like that?
Pretty much. I was like, Karen. And like, I don't know. It was,
wow,
it was, I don't remember. And I asked him, like, did you go to HR? Did you do anything? He was like, no. And I was like, why not? And it became a whole conversation of like, what does it mean to protect other people in this space? Like, and so, this book has been a true reckoning of my own view of the workplace, truly.
Wow. I want to also ask this question. We were talking to Jasper, who was just on the other episode, and he had this really interesting thing, and I think I've seen it around. It's like a lot of people, like the problem with kind of modern society is that so many people are told or do derive their self-worth from working, but then so many jobs are bullshit.
Yeah.
So like there is this kind of thing where it's like I tie my worth to whatever I do, but I also perceive this work to not be that valuable, and therefore,
it's contradicting forces.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Ideologies, really.
I don't know if you have any kind of insight into that, given sort of what you've written up and what you've been thinking about.
Yeah, it's actually been something I've been thinking a lot about. So I think that our personal and work, they're inextricably tied to each other. Those identities exist on the spectrum of who we are. And I think that there has to be a level of acceptance to know that like there is a work identity that means of value to you, because that's literally how we survive and we live in capitalism.
Yeah.
Like it's just that's just what it is, unfortunately. But do I think we can maybe start to reallocate or reframe our value in other ways? Yes. But I think you have to have really deep introspection to figure that out.
Whoa.
So, for example, for me in doing all this, like grad school, it's just literally self-reflection all the time. It's actually quite annoying because I'm like, I'm so tired of thinking about my own shit.
Yeah.
But in doing so, I realized that I genuinely really love helping people.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like my underlying purpose. And so I'm like, if anything that I'm doing in my life is in the realm of helping people in a way that I feel good about it, then like that to me is where I'm putting my value in, or where I'm starting to really adjust my value in.
I see.
So that to me, and so like therapy is like kind of that, right? But then I also have to realize like then therapy is still work. So then I have to even pull in a whole other way of looking of like, okay, what does it mean to help outside of the context of therapy?
Right.
Oh, shit.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
That answer made things worse. Thank
I know.
you for that.
I know. That's the thing. Like, I don't know if I'm like making things better as much as it's like bringing shit to light.
Yeah.
Which is like, again, I don't fucking know if that's good.
Right.
But I guess better not than I don't know, than not talking about it, right?
Yeah, I think it's better to talk about it and think about it, even if it makes things murky.
Yeah.
I think it's incremental, right? I think it all leads up to incremental change. Like, I think even this book, like I specifically wrote in the introduction, like by reading this book, shit's not going to change overnight. Like I'm a very pragmatic person in that regard. However, I do think we can start to plant the seeds. And I think that's where, you become a good manager, and then that impacts the people below you, and they become good managers. And it's just a continuous ripple effect.
Right. No, I'm going to become a comedian.
Yeah. I'm just going to blow the whole system up.
I'm going to blow it all up.
I know, but isn't comedy also like a pretty like fucked up work environment?
Oh my God. Are you insane?
Yes.
Holy shit. There's just like, nah, we don't want to get into that. Oh, it would be...
The way that you just lit us on fire.
I'm on fire!
Yeah.
Imagine if there was a little bit of compassion and care. What?
I know.
I think if you...
Should I just be a therapist for comedians?
That would be really horrible for
It
you.
would be
I know.
very hard.
I think I would be everyone's like fucking content, because every show I've been to, everyone's like, I started going to therapy.
I know.
And
Even
I realized all my fucking family trauma.
My poor therapist has been mentioned so many times on this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like every single
I mean, she rules, but yeah.
You should get...
I would get licensing fees. I'd be like, every time you mention me in your fucking joke, I should get paid.
For real.
For all of what I'm inspiring.
What is it when you do reruns on television and you get
syndication?
Yeah, it's like syndication rules.
Yeah. I want what is it, royalty fees?
Yeah, you want royalties.
I want royalties.
Yeah,
anytime you have a good mental health day, you owe me $2.
Yeah.
That's
no,
a great
because
model.
like, it's not like good mental health day. It's because that's always you guys only talk about the bad stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
Anytime you have a bad mental health day, you owe me $2.
$4.
Yeah.
Which, man, I would owe you so much money. Well, thank you very much. Again, the book, the name of the book is Working with Feelings, Caring for Your Employees Through Cultural Humility and Emotional Fluency. Very fancy.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And hanging out. Where can our fans find you and what you do?
So if you want to be professional with me, probably LinkedIn, Isadora Torres. I think on Insta, I'm Isadora May Torres because there's apparently another Isadora Torres.
Yeah, sure.
I know, haters. And the book itself, so you buy it through my publisher, which is PariaBooks.com. You can drop the link. But it's actually going to be in bookstores worldwide in September.
Whoa, that's amazing.
So exciting.
Yeah. It's
really
really
cool.
weird to like, I don't know. I told my publisher, like, if I go to Greenlight and I see my book on a shelf, I'm going to throw up everywhere.
Yeah, I love that. Good. Threaten with vomit.
Yeah. I'm like, if you see a vomit stain, no, it's mine.
Yeah.
Just like sometime in September, it's just like just so much vomit. In
Yeah,
this
it's like a
all
news
these
story.
bookstores have
Yeah,
vomit in them.
yeah.
Like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. That's going to be me. That's going to be my trademark.
That's gonna be.
I love it.
Have you been to Isadora? She's a great therapist, and she has IBS.
She
Always
keeps throwing up everywhere. And apparently now she's charging her clients if they use her for content.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and every time I have a bad day, I Venmo her $2.
Yeah, I owe her a lot of money.
Yeah.
She's making so much cash. Well, if you want to follow us on the podcast and throw up on our timeline or whatever, just go to Instagram. You can find us on Instagram at Asian Not Asian Pod. You can find me on there at Nice Pants Bro.
And I'm at Jenny Arimoto.
Check out all of our shows. Check out all of our nonsense. We got Hack City every second Friday. That's at Union Hall in Brooklyn. And it's great. It's fun. Thank you again, Isadora.
Yeah,
thank you.
Until then, you know, I was going to say hug your middle manager, but you probably get in trouble for that.
It's an HR violation.
HR violation. I don't know. Hug
I don't know.
yourself.
Or like, bow from a distance.
There's probably some sort of emotive on Slack that
Yeah.
it's equivalent
Just do
to
like
bowing.
the dancing parrot one.
Was that one of them
I don't know.
I don't know.
See that one. I don't know. I see it a
interesting.
lot, but
on Slack?
maybe it's just like the tech bros.
That sounds like a very tech
Yeah,
bro thing.
sorry.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well, until then, we love you.
Bye.
Bye.